From climate change to anti-racism, the left's radical agenda has now taken over corporate boardrooms. So why is this happening? Because CEOs fear the left-wing activists more than they fear you. Well, those days may be coming to an end. Today, a group of called Consumers Research is pushing out ads taking on some select corporations.
American Airlines, rated the worst, losing the most bags, shrinking legroom during COVID. American requires passengers to show ID to fly, but attacks Texas's popular voter ID law. Why is CEO Doug Parker trying to appease the radical left? Coca-Cola is getting political, attacking Georgia's popular voting law. Why? To distract from years of dismal sales, terrible 2020 results, reports suspecting they benefited from forced labor in China. Nike is constantly political. Why? Cover. Congressional reports suspect Nike used forced labor in China.
Okay, that is a great ad. Joining me now, Will Hild, is Executive Director of Consumers Research. Will, we've been asking, when are conservatives going to stand up and say, we spend money too, we don't like the wokeified, politicized corporations. So who are the targets of these ads?
Well, we're excited to announce today the launch of the Consumers First initiative. It has a simple message. It's to tell corporate America to stop trying to cozy up to woke politicians and serve their consumers. And the three companies we're targeting first are Nike, Coca-Cola, and American Airlines.
Well, there are others, though, right? And possibly the most hypocritical of these corporations is Apple, particularly when it comes to their dealings with China. There was a stunning piece in the New York Times today, an analysis that found that tens of thousands of apps have disappeared from Apple's Chinese app store just over the last several years. It also blocked tools for organizing pro-democracy protests. So clearly Tim Cook has decided to bow down at the altar of communist censorship in order to make the phones there, make them cheaply, push them out, and make billions for his shareholders. Will, your first ads didn't tackle Apple, but could you have them featured in future campaigns?
Well, this is phase one of the campaign, and so we're very excited and focusing on that. But this is going to be an ongoing program, and be excited to come back and talk about phase two. Maybe we can talk about that.
Well, the corporations decided that somehow, this was going to be protecting them from, I guess, protests or left-wing boycotts. And don't Americans need to understand that 75 million people voted for Trump. We have more people who probably didn't vote who generally support, Republican right of center initiatives and just freedom. So why do they make this calculation that going left is always the right way to go?
I think it may be even more insidious than that. I think what's happening, take American, for example. Wall Street Journal just rated them the worst airline in the nation. They lose the most bags. They kick the most people off of flights. And we were actually able to confirm by reaching out to them that during the COVID pandemic, they continued to decrease legroom on many of their flights. And this is, of course, at a time when they got a multi-billion-dollar bailout from the American taxpayer. And their CEO, Doug Parker, still got an 8-figure paycheck last year. So it may be that they're worried about woke activists, but I think the real issue here is that they want to distract from their failings and their complete inability to have a plan to pay back the American taxpayer, despite paying their CEO, Doug Parker, 8 figures last year. And I think that's the real reason, and that's the message that we're trying to deliver.
Oh, well, this is good. You have a lot of corporations on your naughty list, Will. So I want you to move on to Apple, though. Don't leave. They're the big kahuna. Don't be afraid of the big boys. Okay, you're like Davy and Goliath here. You get the slingshot in a good way, rhetorically slingshot. We'll be waiting. We got to roll. But great job, awesome ad. Now next,